You eat clean, you train regularly, you're not carrying extra weight, and yet every single night you rattle the walls. How is that possible? Because snoring is not a sign that something is broken. It's a sign that your airway is doing exactly what physics forces it to do under the wrong conditions. And here's the part most people miss. Up to 45% of healthy adults snore regularly. It's not rare, it's the default. In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 mechanisms behind the noise and what actually quiets it down. Most people think snoring starts in the nose, but for many healthy people, the real problem begins deeper in the throat. Your throat is not a rigid pipe. It is a soft, collapsible tube surrounded by muscle and tissue. During the day, those muscles stay active, holding the airway open without you ever thinking about it. But sleep changes the rules. As soon as you drift off, muscle tone drops, the tongue relaxes, the soft palate loosens, the uvula becomes softer, and slowly, the open airway you had while awake begins to narrow. Think of your throat like a garden hose with no internal skeleton. When the support weakens, the walls can move inward. Now, air has to squeeze through a smaller space. The airflow speeds up, pressure changes inside the airway, and the soft tissue begins to shake. That shaking is the sound you hear as snoring. It is like breathing through a straw while someone slowly pinches it from the outside. The air still gets through, but it has to fight for space. Most people think snoring is just a noise problem. It is not. It is a warning that your airway is becoming unstable while you sleep. But soft tissue is only the first piece. The second mechanism is quieter, and you cannot always feel it happening. The second mechanism starts higher up, in a place most people rarely think about. The nose. Even a partially blocked nose can have a surprising effect on the airway. Allergies, mild congestion, or swelling inside the nasal passages may not seem like a big deal while you are awake, but during sleep, they can change the way air moves through your body. Your nose is like the main entrance to a building. When that entrance becomes crowded or partially blocked, people start pushing through the side exit. And during sleep, that side exit is your mouth. The problem is that mouth breathing changes the geometry of the airway. As the mouth opens, the tongue is more likely to drift backward toward the throat. This narrows the airway at its base, creating even more resistance. Meanwhile, the nose normally warms, filters, and humidifies the air before it reaches the lungs. Mouth breathing skips those steps entirely. It is like climbing through a basement window instead of walking through the front door. But there is another hidden cost. Nasal breathing helps produce nitric oxide, a natural molecule that supports airflow in the lower airways. Mouth breathing bypasses much of this process. The result is simple physics. A narrower passage forces air to move faster, and faster airflow creates louder vibration. This is where people push back. They say, "But I breathe through my nose during the day," and they may be right. But sleep changes everything. This explains the noise. But the third mechanism explains why snoring can get worse over time, even if nothing else changes. Most people assume snoring is only a problem for the person trying to sleep next to them. But the truth is that snoring can disrupt the snorer's own sleep as well. Every time the airway narrows too much, the brain may briefly react to protect it. These reactions are often so small that you never remember them in the morning. Sleep specialists call them microarousals, tiny interruptions that pull you out of deeper stages of sleep without fully waking you up. Think of your brain as a security guard answering the same false alarm all night long. Each time the airway becomes unstable, the guard has to step in and restore order. One interruption is not a big deal. Hundreds of interruptions over weeks, months, or years are a different story. Deep sleep is supposed to be the night crew repairing the highway. It is when the body recovers, restores energy, and prepares for the next day. But if traffic keeps getting let onto the road, those repairs never finish. Over time, poor quality sleep can reduce muscle control and stability in the airway. The result is a frustrating cycle. Snore more, sleep worse, airway becomes less stable, then snore even more the next night. Snoring becomes the very thing that weakens the system designed to prevent it. This means snoring is not just a sound problem, it is a sleep quality problem that compounds every single night. So the question is not just, how do I stop the noise? The better question is, what inputs does your airway need to stay open? And this is where the solution becomes practical. You do not need to force the airway open. You need to remove the conditions that make it collapse in the first place. There are 3 levers you can pull, and what makes them powerful is not that any single one is a miracle fix. It is that each lever targets a different part of the chain reaction we just walked through. The first condition is gravity. When you sleep on your back, gravity pulls the tongue and soft palate directly toward the back of the throat. Remember the garden hose from earlier? Lying on your back is like setting that hose on a downhill slope and then loosening the support around it. The walls sag inward, the space narrows, the air has to fight harder. Now here is what happens when you shift to your side. Gravity now pulls the tongue and soft palate sideways instead of straight back. The airway geometry changes. The same throat, the same tissues, the same person, but the passage stays open. This is not theory. Studies on positional therapy show that for many people, simply changing sleep position can reduce both snoring frequency and snoring volume. Practical ways to make this stick: a body pillow behind you, a wedge pillow, or even the old tennis ball sewn into the back of a shirt. Something that makes rolling onto your back uncomfortable enough that your body learns to stay on its side. But here is where people get stuck. They try positional therapy, it helps a little. Then the snoring comes back, and they assume it does not work. What they do not realize is that position is only the first lever. Because if your nose is blocked, your body has a backup plan. And that backup plan undermines everything position just fixed. If the nose is blocked, even partially, your body will often switch to mouth breathing, no matter how perfectly you position yourself. And mouth breathing, as we saw earlier, changes airway geometry. The jaw drops, the tongue drifts backward, the soft tissue collapses more easily. So you can fix your position and still lose the battle because your nose never had a chance to do its job. This is why the second lever is nasal clearance. The goal is simple: restore the nasal pathway so air can take the route it was designed to take. Nasal strips physically open the nasal passages from the outside. Saline rinses clear debris and reduce inflammation inside. Nasal dilators widen the airway at the entrance. Allergy management reduces the chronic swelling that keeps the nose half closed. When the nose is clear, 2 things happen. First, you breathe through your nose by default. No conscious effort required. Second, nasal breathing promotes nitric oxide production, which helps keep the lower airways open. When nasal breathing is possible, positional therapy stops fighting an uphill battle. The 2 levers work together. But even with perfect position and clear nasal passages, some people still snore. Because the problem is no longer just airflow. It is the strength of the airway itself. And that is the deeper point. Your airway did not fail you. It responded to the conditions it was given. A sleeping position that let gravity narrow the passage, a nasal pathway that was never fully cleared, muscles that were never asked to hold their shape. None of that is your fault. It is just the physics of a soft, collapsible tube operating under the wrong inputs. But conditions can change. And when they do, the airway already knows what to do.